Okay, well, good morning. It's Friday morning here in Johnson City, New York, and it may be the next day in some places with the timeline and all that. But welcome this morning to our morning meditation. The picture was my show and tell for today. It's a Guatemalan man bag, and all the real men wear them. People at my church have seen me with them before, especially on a Wednesday night or a Sunday night where I just have a couple of things to bring down. I toss it over my shoulder. It says Recuerdo Toto, which is Remember Toto, which is short for Totonicapán, which is where a suburb, the church I went to back in 2016 is a suburb there, what we'd call it. Its own little canton there in the area, Chuichimal. And that was given to me by the pastor and his wife as a going away present. I have another one. You see them hanging back behind me from this view. That one's from Hoyoac, and purchased that one myself down in Guatemala several years back now. A lot of stuff from Guatemala. I always buy something on a trip, although I've gone enough times now to where I don't really need to buy anything more, unless it's some kind of special trip or whatever. But yeah, they're handy, and you toss it over your shoulder, stuff it full of stuff. I take it when I travel because it has a zipper, so it's secure. The other one doesn't have a zipper. I can put things in here and keep valuables in here. I put anything I'm going to need while I'm sitting in my plane seat. I put in there so it's easy. It goes under the seat easy, leaves my feet lots of room, and it has everything I'm going to need in it. Pens, pencils, book to read, usually some candy is included, bottled water maybe, my passport and all those kinds of things all go in there. So they're always hanging on my shoulder, and they're always accessible, quick and easy. So that's today's show and tell, boys and girls. Remember Totonicapán. I will always remember Toto. Okay, today's meditation comes from Bob Goff's book, Isaiah 43:18. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Could we just stop right there? Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Isaiah 43:18. Peter Pan has a unique shadow. You might recall the scene from the Disney movie when Peter and his shadow chase each other around the kid's room until Peter wrestles his shadow down so it can be sewn back on his shoes. Sometimes our past gets stuck to us like our shadows. As much as we try to shake it off or outrun it, we turn around and there it is. I suppose you could eliminate your shadow by living in total darkness, but that's not life either, is it? Sometimes I wish I could just detach my past from myself permanently. There'd be no chase on my part. I'd let it run out the door and wave as it headed down the street. We can't escape our shadows like Peter Pan did, if only for a while. In some ways, our past is stuck to us no matter what we do. We don't need to let who we used to be decide who we are going to be. We don't need to let who we used to be decide who we're going to be. Good line. When we treat the shadows of our past like they're living, breathing versions of ourselves today, we give our past too much power. Here's a truth that's worth believing. The stuff that happened yesterday that's hounding you is irrelevant to the tomorrow waiting to greet you. He emphasized it. I'll do it too. The stuff that happened yesterday that's hounding you is irrelevant to the tomorrow waiting to greet you. We can move forward in grace. knowing the fight with yesterday is over. Grace won, even if we don't realize it yet. Tomorrow is our Neverland, where our tries never run out of time. You can't escape your shadow, of course, but you also don't have to give it as much airtime. Grace means this: tomorrow is always a friend. It isn't that yesterday didn't happen. It just doesn't matter anymore. What from your past do you need to let go of today? That's a hard one. We struggle with that. Things happened yesterday that may still be ongoing situations and issues. But the reality is, it is what it is. We can't change it now. We may correct. We may take new steps. We may seek to approach things differently. But see, that's all an attempt to move on and not stay mired in the past. That's a dangerous, dangerous place to be, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. Those steps were taken. You can't redo them. They're done. But today you can plot a different course. Today you can get out of that rut, out of that track. And that's important for us. That's what grace does for us. I love that he focuses on that. Grace, God's grace. His grace is greater than all of our sin, all of our mistakes. Look at the characters of the Bible. I remember years ago I did this one time, Hebrews 11. Moses was a murderer. Abraham was a liar. Sarah laughed at God's promise. So many others. Samson is in Hebrews 11. The man had a thing for the ladies and the parties. And yet, there were times of faith in his life. God can still use us no matter what choices we made yesterday, and many of us have made some bad ones. We've headed down bad roads in our lives along the way, and yet today's a new day. And I don't say that tritely. Today is a new day. We can make the decision to walk away from that or rebuild any damage that was done for that. Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe it's a personal thing, choices we made that still hang on us. Whatever it might be, grace overcomes it. Grace that is greater than our sin. Abundant grace, amazing grace that deals with that and helps us move on into a new day. Do that today. If you need to do that today, please do it. Trust the Lord that he loves enough to deal with that, to forgive that, and make a new creature. Old things are passing away. Behold, all things are becoming new. Do that today in grace and in faith. Blessings to you.